Back in 2002, the world market for computer products and services was worth around 320 billion US dollars. It's a massive market by any standards. The biggest growth has taken place in the market for computer services, everything from outsourcing data collection to the development of totally new types of service, such as World Wide Web services and government data monitoring. In 2002, the computer printer market and the market for high-end servers, these are the massive servers that handle large amounts of data, were roughly equal in size. The printer market has continued to grow, but has seen nothing like the major growth in high-end servers. And of course, the reason for high-end server growth has been the need to handle the demands of the Internet and the World Wide Web, which has increased dramatically since 2002. What all this means is that in spite of fears of a worldwide economic recession and other important economic and social pressures, world computer markets are growing and therefore present major strategic opportunities. These are particularly likely in developments associated with the World Wide Web and with computer services. Everything from small companies offering web design to large companies developing new broadband telecommunications. All three companies, IBM, Hewlett Packard and Dell, in this case Material, have identified new business strategies to benefit from such innovations. Perhaps one of the most remarkable strategic success stories of recent years is the way that the US computer giant IBM has turned around its fortunes. It's reinvented itself with new innovative strategies that have maintained its position as the largest computer company in the world in both computer manufacturing and computer services. And the clue to its success rests particularly on its development of its internal human resource talent services, coupled with the acquisition of Pricewaterhouse Computer Services as well. Some years ago, IBM went through a difficult period commercially. It had built a dominant position in the industry through its development of new products, its branding, and the quality of its employees. But then it hit a rough patch in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, as rival companies began to take market share, produce computers more cheaply than IBM, and focus on new technical opportunities. And you can read more about this in case number 1.2. IBM responded by acquiring new companies to move it into new product areas like software and by developing its computer services further. By the late 1990s, IBM had recovered its position with a series of alliances, a stronger emphasis on superior service, and a program of selling off the parts of its business that were underperforming, like computer chip manufacture and its personal computer business to Lenovo. Around year 2000, Hewlett Packard had come a long way from the Californian garage where Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard had begun the business. The company had gained justifiably a strong reputation over the years for new computer innovations, especially its computer printers, where it was the world market leader. And at least in the short term, this provided a source of real strategic strength for the company. In addition, the company had not hesitated to grow by acquisition and had used this to move into new product areas. By the late 1990s, HP was a large company with interests in many product areas in addition to printers, but it arguably lacked economies of scale in these areas: large computer servers, personal computers, and computer services. Around this time, the company appointed a new chief executive, Carly Fiorina. She then set about reorganizing the company to make it less technically oriented and more customer focused. And you can read about this in case 15.2. She also led a successful bid for a rival personal computer company, Compaq, to deliver the economies of scale in personal computers. But this acquisition strategy was challenged by some shareholders connected with the company, particularly the son of Bill Hewlett. Although Carly won the battle for the acquisition of Compaq in 2001, she lost the war with regard to her own job and was sacked in early 2005. But by this time, HP was big enough to attack the market leader in PCs, Dell Computers, and in addition, it was still seeking to strengthen its business in computer services. Michael Dell was only 19 when he first had the idea of selling personal computers by mail order. Cutting out the costs of paying distributors meant that Dell could afford to cut its costs and reduce prices, but still make a reasonable profit. Dell Computers never looked back from that time in 1987, but the company still has a narrower product range than either Hewlett Packard or IBM. Nevertheless, by the early 2000s, Dell had become the largest manufacturer of personal computers in the world. But its success was not built just on direct delivery. The company had evolved into one of the most efficient, low-cost producers of computers. This included not only sourcing computer parts from low-cost suppliers around the world, but also a whole dedicated supply chain that monitored stocks to keep them to a minimum, and a custom promotion and ordering system that ensured the latest models and technologies were always part of its marketing. However, although Dell had low costs, they were still higher than some Asian manufacturers, particularly in China. And the HP acquisition of Compaq was beginning to threaten its market leadership in the highly competitive personal computer market. So where do these companies go from here? What strategies are now needed? What resource-based strengths do these companies possess? A network of contacts across the computer service industry, brand and reputation, service skills, in-depth market knowledge and experience, particular product ranges, lower costs than rivals, innovative technical and design knowledge to produce better performing products than their competitors. There's plenty of information in the written case material that will help you explore and answer these questions. You should be able to work out the strengths and weaknesses of all three companies from a strategy perspective and the resource-based view. And then you can explore strategies for the future.